YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today we got an updated 2022, way too early mock draft here, just the first round after the first week of college football. Actually, one more game left, Ole Miss Louisville tonight. Excited to watch that. But I thought I would get one more of these out there before the actual NFL season kicks off, and we're going to have our full in-season content. Of course, power rankings, weekly picks, score predictions, recaps, bold predictions, college football content, all of it. So join us for that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Follow us on Twitter. Very, very important at this time of the year, any time of the year. Link in the description comments for anything you need. Here's our Twitter. I just recently, a little earlier, I posted all the week one polls. You guys are voting right now. A lot of time left on these. Who wins each game? And that will be used for the fan vote in our weekly picks video. So you guys got to say there. And we also got a picks league. I'll put the link in the comment section for all this. You guys free to join this picks league. A lot of prizes and shout outs throughout the year for who's at the top of the leaderboard. So really exciting stuff here. Keeping you guys involved in our in-season content. Very important for this mock draft. I mean, it says at the top, order determined by Super Bowl odds, not my Super Bowl odds. You know, every time I make one of these mock drafts, people kind of have a problem with the order. You shouldn't be here for order predictions, season predictions. I got playoff predictions up on the channel. Go check out a different video for that type of stuff. Just focusing on the prospects right now. 1 week of play. I got Kayvon Thibodeaux, first overall pick. The edge rusher from Oregon. Small sample size from the Fresno State game, but looked ridiculous. You know, the first drive had a ridiculous pressure on third down that resulted in a key sack, a third down sack. And then he had a strip sack early in the next drive. Was causing problems. So you can see he can drop in coverage. I guess the question, will he be for every, I think he can play 4-3 end, which would be with the Texans. Will he be for every 4-3 scheme? You know, they wanted to put on a little more weight. I think he's just too talented to pass on here. I think he'd fit the Texans no problem. The Lions, according to the Super Bowl odds that I picked out here, Carson Strong I went with for the second pick. The quarterback situation is interesting. You know, if you needed a quarterback, last year was the draft. I said that then. I'm saying it now. Of course, these quarterbacks that played a little sloppy in week one of college football, but just week one. But so they could get better, you know. But I don't think the Lions with that coaching staff, I don't think they're going to want a Rattler type. I've been hearing rave reports from Carson Strong from Nevada. It's crazy. At this early time, it feels like he might be the safest of the quarterback of the bunch here which is crazy. Nevada quarterback that hasn't played the greatest competition, but a lot of the other guys are pretty wild. You know, they're pretty inconsistent as well. A lot you got to work with there. So that kind of makes Carson Strong maybe one of the safest there. I think it's that, pro style quarterback that brings a little extra. Maybe you're hoping to get a Josh Allen type player out of that. I think that'll be what the Lions would be interested in if they're the second pick. The Jets go Derek Stingley. Could go Evan Neal. Very strong possibility and move him to right tackle. But they desperately need a corner as well. Stingley, one of the better prospects in the class. He's been on everyone's radar since his freshman year. Evan Neal could very well be the best player of the draft. For me, at the moment, I got Thibodeaux, I got Neal, and I got Kyle Hamilton at the top in terms of just overall prospects. Neal's just a bully of a left tackle, and the Jags need tackle help. Cam Robinson was franchise tagged. Juwan Taylor on the other side hasn't been working out, so Neal helps you on either side. I just go with left tackle where he belongs there. Bengals would love to have some Evan Neal, but Kenyon Green for Texas A&M guard switched to tackle. Ray reports on him as well. He's very solid, very versatile. The Bengals, a lot of people complain they didn't go offensive line last year. Now this time around they would probably have to. Then the Giants go Spencer Rattler, who I think most people have at the top for the quarterback. He's got a lot of work on still. It gets a little wild, a little inconsistent. The footwork's a bit of a mess, but he has that big play potential that you want to work with, plus the athleticism, mobility that fits today's NFL. You want those guys that have legs. That's just what it is today. Gettleman wouldn't make this pick, but if the Giants have the sixth pick, again, this is Super Bowl odds. This is not my predicted order. Last time we did this, for some reason, Giants fans were the ones that couldn't figure that out. So hopefully they got it this time. If they have the sixth pick, Gettleman's got to be gone. So I think they would make that pick and Rattler go away from that Daniel Jones type of player here. The Eagles go Kyle Hamilton, who's an elite player in this draft. We saw him. It was actually last night against Florida State, an insane game for Kyle Hamilton. I mean, this guy has the range and the ball skills to play free safety. He has, the physicality to play stronger in the box. He's a do-it-all type safety. These guys don't come around really at all, but the range, the length, playmaking ability is just ridiculous. Eagles grab him. They really, Anthony Harris got a 1-year deal. They really could use 2 safeties for the future, so getting a guy like Hamilton's pretty big if they actually have if they are in the position to get him. Again, I focus on just the prospects and where they're coming off the board and where they fit, type of team they fit. I don't really focus on the order. Whole NFL season to be played. DeMarvin Leal from Texas A&M to the Raiders. It's going to be interesting to see where he lands. Some teams may, what is he exactly? I think on a team like the Raiders, 4-3 defense, they probably play him at 3 technique, get that inside pass rush that everyone's desperately looking for. If he went to a 3-4 team, I think he'd play 3-4 end, defensive end. Disruptor of a player there. And the Raiders got a lot of 1-year deals in terms of the defensive line there, what they're hoping to get out of Solomon Thomas and Quentin Jefferson. That'll be this type of player for them. Next group of picks, Panthers go Matt Corral, quarterback Ole Miss, who played his first game tonight against Louisville. So, a lot of these guys were affected by the way they played, and Corral didn't play yet, so we'll see. But I think he fits the Panthers so well, that Joe Brady system with all those wide receivers. I think it's exactly what they're looking for here, and get a guy with a little more mobility. They do have Sam Darnold, and they traded for Sam Darnold. They like him. We'll see how he does this year, but I'm thinking they can get better and kind of get more of their fit here if they're in position. If they're picking in the top 10, it's likely they'll probably be needing a quarterback. The Falcons, Christian Harris, edge rusher from Bama, had a pretty good outing against Miami. He's strictly a 3-4 edge rusher, and that's where the Falcons are headed with their defense. A little bit of a change starting this year. I think that'll fit opposite of Dante Fowler. And they could even use an upgrade there. We'll see how he plays this year. Giants got this pick from the Bears, and this is where the Super Bowl odds have them. So they get their quarterback. Now they get offensive line. They get Munford from Ohio State, who can play guard for them at the next level here. And they've been kind of trying to add some guards or just kind of depth guys at this time. Washington goes Sam Howell, so Sam Howell gets pushed down the board. Yeah, if you notice, I haven't really been a huge Sam Howell guy. I love the deep ball, the big playability. Other than that, I've been talking about he's got a lot to work on, even though he could be a top-tier quarterback prospect, sure. But the first game against Virginia Tech, it was a rough game. He didn't have much time at all. He had it's such a roller coaster ride, watching him against pressure. He'll escape pressure and just throw on the run, throw across body. It looks beautiful. But there's so many times where he kind of waits till he's about to get hit and he just makes a stupid decision to try to whip the ball somewhere, or sometimes he doesn't get out of the pocket fast enough. It's just a big roller coaster ride. Definitely more negative so far under pressure. And then you wonder from last year, take away this dominant running game. Can he open up the run? Does it have to open up the pass on his own? Does it have to be run the ball to open up Sam Howell's passing game? And you take away some of the receivers, Brown, Newsome, long season left for him to prove us otherwise, but it's not looking good so far. But, still has that talent, has that wow ability, that downfield ball that everyone wants to work with. Some of those quarterbacks are looking good, like a Josh Allen. Had some similar problems coming out of Wyoming on top of it, playing weaker competition. I think a big problem, though, is a guy like Josh Allen, is a big boy. Sam Howell, a little undersized, people will consider for quarterback. So he's really going to have to step up. Malik Willis, who I like a lot, former Auburn Tiger, now on Liberty. I guess the question with him is, is he a run-first quarterback? Last year ran for 900-plus yards, 2,000 yards. He could throw. He showed first game they played Campbell. It's a pretty easy one there, but he showed he could throw the ball too. So the Broncos, if they're in this position, they'll probably take the quarterback. They love running the ball there, so getting a quarterback that can present that as well, but also can throw could be big for them. Steelers go Andrew Booth, the corner from Clemson. Pretty solid game in the first game against Georgia. Physical corner, familiar with man coverage, obviously, which the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, would love to run. So, and a lot of upside. I think Booth, I want to see more of him because I think he's an upside guy. He's going to continue to grow here. Vikings, Drake Jackson, edge rusher from USC. This could be a top 10 pick. This guy's all over, plays very productive, top recruit as well. I guess the question, will he fit every team's scheme in terms of the pass rusher? Maybe a little more weight. Some of those, it's kind of a lot of these guys these days. It's a lot different than it used to be. So I think everyone needs to kind of realized that. Some teams won't take guys because he's not your traditional down line defensive end that weighs 290 pounds, not the same game anymore, But Drake Jackson, very talented, could be a guy opposite Daniel Hunter. Darion Kendrick of Georgia now was on Clemson, had a big-time game against his former team versus Clemson, was locked down in coverage, and he was kind of on everyone's radar last year. The Cardinals definitely going to need some corner help, but this is probably his range of the draft as well. So good look from 1 week of play. Next, another Georgia Bulldog that's really just popped on everyone's radar just now because of the ridiculous performance. Nakobe Dean, a linebacker, could be converted to a 3-4 edge rusher. He's a really good blitzer. You can use him in that way. He was really just all over the field for the Georgia Bulldogs. So the Eagles, went out with another pick. They get that linebacker. Saints going to be looking for that corner of the future. Good feeling on that at some point. Josh Jobe from Alabama, who kind of broke out a little bit last year for them, when he took the spot of Diggs. So another year kind of being that top corner here. Zach Harrison, edge from Ohio State, had a pretty good game against Minnesota. A really good outside bend. We saw that go to work there in that one game. But he was solid in the pass as well. But the Chargers could be looking for somebody, an edge rusher opposite of Joey Bosa here to kind of complete that defense. Cowboys always on the hunt for top cornerback prospects, so they can get one here in Kaiir Elam. This is a guy I saw play, for the first time. The first time he's up on the field a couple years ago, I was kind of like, okay, this is one for the future. I love the length of him. A little inconsistent right now, but he has, NFL cornerback traits. Jackson Kirkland, tackle in Washington. Definitely need to see more from him, but he's pretty high up on everyone's radar right now. Some good reports on him. So the Eagles potentially have 3 picks. The ones from Indianapolis, that's not for sure, but I would say it's maybe likely. I don't know if Carson Wentz gets hurt again, then it's not. They get a second round instead. But as of now, we're not predicting anybody to get hurt. So one with the Eagles there. Chris Olave to the Patriots they grabbed some receivers in free agency. Not a lot of holes in this team, but they could look to add Olave. Reminds me of Will Fuller a little bit. I think Fuller is a little faster, but Olave's pretty smooth. He only had 4 catches in that Minnesota game and just went crazy. Jets go George Karlaftis, edge rusher from Purdue. To me, your traditional defensive end, and the Jets will need, they're beat up this year. Even if they're not beat up, I think they need another one. So they'll look to kind of get that edge group going all in 1 year next year. Another Georgia Bulldog who lit it up against Clemson, Jordan Davis, just looks like your stud NFL nose tackle. Big body, just dominates stopping the run as anything past him. Usually those guys don't go in the first round, though, unless they add involvement in terms of the passing game. And small sample size, but Davis was getting some good interior pressure. It's a big boy that's moving pretty fast as well. It's kind of rare you see that. You add him right inside of Jeffrey Simmons for the Titans. That would be pretty deadly there. Then the next group of picks, Garrett Wilson, the Browns. So staying in the state there from Ohio State. I want to see more from him. He's understandably hyped, and he's very good, very talented. But I haven't been super crazy high, I think, like everyone else. I think Olave's been better. We saw more from him. But Wilson, I would like to see a little bit more here. Because people are hyping him up so much, almost too much at this point, even though he's very talented. I just need to see him match that hype, but he's pretty close, so don't get me wrong there. Myjai Sanders, edge rusher for Cincinnati. It's going to be a 3-4 edge rusher, in my opinion. Pretty versatile edge rusher. I think that all that kind of fits the Ravens. They did take one in a way last season, but could be using another one. Houston's going to be gone probably, so we'll see. Now the Dolphins sent their pick away, and then they get one back here from San Francisco, obviously. Go Brandon Smith, linebacker from Penn State, kind of a do-it-all linebacker there. Seen some good playmaking ability from him, too. Dolphins, they have linebackers, but this feels like they're continuing to look for linebackers. They're continuing to figure out how can we get better, because it's a very important position in Flores' scheme there. So that's what I thought of there. I went pretty bold, and it'll probably bring up a lot of debate in the comments. But the Packers, let's just say in this scenario, with the Super Bowl odds, not my order. I just recently did playoff predictions, so check that out if that's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. That's not what you're here for. You should be here for the draft part. But if they're picking pretty good pick, it means you did pretty well in the season. But this might mean Rodgers is going to try somewhere else because they fell short again. Is Jordan Love the answer? That's the next debate. I think they would go with Keaton Slovis here from USC. I think it's their type of guy and look to upgrade actually from Jordan Love if Rodgers leaves. Kind of play with that scenario a little bit. Thought that was interesting. But the problem with Slovis, while a lot of teams will probably pass, is everyone knows that the guys, the more mobile guys are working. They have to be able to throw first, of course, which Slovis can, but it feels like he's 5-10 years ago type of guy, for the NFL. So that's why some teams may pass, and he can fall in a lap of a team down here. Lions get a pick from the Rams, obviously in the Goff deal. John Mechie III, they're going to need another receiver here. So they go with the Alabama receiver here with the 29th pick. Bills grab their other corner to play opposite of Tre'Davious White. They go Ahmad Gardner from Cincinnati. The secondary is very good there in Cincinnati. Haskell Garrett goes to the Buccaneers. Ohio State defensive lineman, see him score a touchdown in that Minnesota game. It's a dominant defensive tackle there, and could look to add him. Maybe replacing Ndamukong Suh, get ready for the future. And the Chiefs may need a pass rusher. Frank Clark took a step down, was last year. Still very good, shows up at the right times, but also off the field issues. They're just really lacking edge rush. I think Isaiah Foskey fits their scheme. Athletic guy, a good combination of physicality and athleticism. Was a kind of a rotation guy last year. Was really lighting up down the stretch. And this year, he plays Florida State week 1, has 2 sacks, looks pretty damn good. So put him there with the Chiefs. A lot of good players. That's my favorite. One of my favorite things about the draft is that it's just it's different every year. Last year was crazy with the quarterbacks. We had the best quarterback class we've ever seen, and there's some great receivers. It's feeling like an offensive class, not so much defense this year. It's definitely different. It's definitely different. Some big-time defensive players, some a long list of good corners I've noticed as well, and it's just how everything shakes up. It's just way different, so I love that. So we'll see. A lot of season left to change things. Things will change. That's just how it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can't wait to see the people complaining about the order. For some reason, that's kind of what grinds my gears the most with these, because you should not be here to look at orders. You should be here to look at the draft, and it's not even my order. But that's all right. We're moving on. In-season content starts tomorrow, which is Tuesday. Maybe it's already Tuesday by the time you're listening. Maybe it's past that, which is the 7th. But that's our in-season content. Power rankings, weekly picks are on every Tuesday, and then Wednesday score predictions. Then we got bold predictions, recaps throughout the week. After every Sunday, we do recaps too on Monday. It's crazy. You got an insane amount of content. So join us, like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Make sure you follow that Twitter. Very, very important. Link down below, description, comments. It's going to do it, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.